I'm going to do a sound check, 30 seconds. Good evening. We will now start the meeting. I would like to welcome everyone today. I'm the committee chairperson, Lisa Guzman. I would like to call the school name committee meeting of March 7th, 2023 to order. The time is 5:34. I would like to remind everyone to silence your electronic devices. I also want to welcome those who are viewing the live stream broadcast of the meeting. I would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is a territorial homeland of the Nuwu, the Moapa Band of Paiutes, and the Las Vegas Band of Paiutes. We will start with 1.01, the flag salute. Please join me in standing and reciting the pledge. I believe in the city of the United States and one nation under God, indivisible, and Before we take the roll, I would like to introduce 3 new members of the committee who were appointed by the superintendent. Jeremy Lawson, a teacher at Desert Pines High School who was CCSD's 2022 Teacher of the Year, will serve as the teacher representative. Shelley Berkeley, a former U.S. Congresswoman, will serve as the community representative. Javier Trujillo, Vice President of Government Affairs and Community Partnerships at McGraw-Hill, also will serve as a community representative. We are excited and fortunate to have such wonderful representatives on this committee. Just like Jeremy, Shelley, and Javier, Trustee Irene Bustamante Adams, and myself are newcomers to this committee. We look forward to working with you along with members Meredith Freeman and Dr. Kathy Ann Ross. Thank you for your commitment. Now, after those introductions, we will take the roll. I'm here, believe it or not. Trustee Irene Bustamante Adams. Here. Shelley Berkeley. Meredith Freeman. Here. Jeremy Lawson. Here. Dr. Kathy Ann Rozick. Javier Trujillo. I am looking for a motion from the committee member to approve the agenda.
Madam Chair, I move for the adoption of the agenda. A second.
Thank you. If there is anyone who would like to speak today on an item in today's agenda and who has not yet signed in, please see Mr. Campbell in the front of the room to sign up. He's over here. Okay, we're going to go to 2.01, approval of the minutes. Discussion and possible action on the approval of the minutes of the school name committee of April 26, 2002 is recommended. Do we have any questions from the members of the committee? Is there any member of the public who would like to speak to this item? I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes of April 26th.
So moved.
Second. Okay, we're on to 2.02. We will now hear from Patrick Murch of the Office of the General Counsel, who will make a brief presentation on the Nevada Open Meeting Law and its application to the work of the committee.
Thank you, Trustee Guzman, members of the committee. I'm Patrick Murch of the Clark County School District. I was asked to do a brief presentation on meeting law, which some of you are familiar with. I'll make this quick. I have 6 points to go through. First of all, the purpose of the open meeting law is to require public bodies to conduct deliberations and take action in an open manner that's accessible to the public. Second, the open meeting law is applicable to the school name committee. Third is the definition of a meeting is the gathering of members of a public body at which a quorum is present, deliberate or take action on any matter over which the public body has jurisdiction or advisory power. Excuse me. Quorum is defined as a simple majority membership public body. The quorum here tonight. To deliberate means to collectively examine, weigh, and reflect on reasons for or against an action. And an action is a decision, commitment, or promise made by a majority of members present during a meeting. Serial communications can also constitute a meeting. So that would be a series of gatherings of members of a public body where less than a quorum is present, but the members of constituting a quorum attend one or more of the gatherings, and a series of gatherings was held with the intent to violate, to avoid remote meetings, open meeting law applies to also. Number 4, notice and agenda. Open meeting law contains notice and agenda requirements for those can provide more necessary. Number 5 is public comments. Restrictions on public comments include in notice. Restrictions must be reasonable and in place and manner. The presiding officer can stop comments that are unduly repetitive or off topic of agenda item. The presiding officer can stop behavior that's willfully disruptive. And a person who willfully disrupts them. And number 6, other requirements. Committees required to keep minutes. Actions taken in violation of the meeting law avoid corrective actions to be taken. And there is a conflict disclosure and abstention requirement. Committee members are required to disclose conflicts of interest and abstain from participating in a discussion prior to the proceedings.
Are there any questions of Mr. Murch from members of the committee for the meeting law? For members of the public, since this is not an action item, if you would like to comment on this item, you may do so during the public comment period near the end of the meeting. Let the record reflect that Shelley Berkeley has joined the meeting, please.
Sorry I'm late. I hate being late to anything, but it took me an hour to get here.
0.03, naming of district facilities. This is discussion and possible action to forward a recommendation to name a career and technical academy. The Northeast Career and Technical Academy for approval to the Board of School Trustees is recommended. I would like to welcome Region 1 Superintendent Roanne Triana to present the recommendation to the committee.
Good evening, Madam Chair Guzman, Trustee Bustamante Adams, and members of the school name committee. My name is Roanne Triana, and I proudly serve as the Region 1 Superintendent for the Clark County School District. With me this evening, we also have Scarlett Perryman, School Associate Superintendent and Direct Supervisor for the new school, and with us as well, Ryan Cordia, Principal. I want to provide you with some information and thank you for the opportunity to tell you about our new Technical Training Academy opening 2023-2024 school year. It's a non-traditional magnet high school that will focus on career pathways training for a career technical education coursework. We will open with 550 freshmen along with 100 sophomores. Over 4 years, our school will grow to serve 2,000 students. The school has 10 magnet pathways. I like to use 3 buckets to remember them. Number 1, helpers, social worker, teacher, medical professions. Number 2, dreamers, business with logistics, computer science, cybersecurity, and architecture. And number 3, makers, clean energy, construction, diesel mechanic. Social worker, logistics, and clean energy are only piloted at our school and will soon spread throughout Nevada. Each career training program opens the door to hundreds of jobs within the skill set taught. Our success will be measured through high skill employment rates along with traditional measures. The vision for our new school is to shorten the timeline from freshman orientation to revenue generation. Our mission is to provide access to the skills required to find limitless success in an evolving economy. Starting in week 1, all students will select a job to pursue under their career training umbrella. Students can change their job at any time, but they will always be working toward a meaningful career that contributes to the economy. Our task is to provide access to that job through training professional skills, technical skills, and removing barriers to entry. Each student will practice competencies and project completion across campus to prepare them for professional life. Senior year will be unique to the needs of each student. If their career requires a bachelor's degree, students will have dual credit opportunities. If it requires an industry credential, they will earn this through their CTE pathway. We will partner with Workforce Connections to align students with employment opportunities. And if their job only requires skills we taught, we will get them into the field through employment, internships, and apprenticeships. In addition to the CTE program classes, students will take the courses to fulfill their high school graduation requirements. The students that attend the Technical Training Academy will benefit from blended and project-based learning. This is the newest high school of its kind in the country, and it is already a point of pride for our community. We will work together so that we can unlock the potential of all of our students. The graduates from our school will have a path to career success and will be able to compete with graduates from around the country. We recommend that the school be named the Northeast Career and Technical Academy as it reflects the school's location and follows district naming policy and protocol. Thank you for the opportunity and for your consideration.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from the members of the committee?
Thank you for the presentation, and I'm very supportive of this concept. I received a call from the mayor of North Las Vegas, and she expressed her concern about naming it Northeast as opposed to North, because she suggested to me that North would be more suitable and more descriptive of where it's being located, which would be essentially in North Las Vegas. So can you comment on that, as in somebody enlightened as to why it's Northeast as opposed to North?
So I will tell you that naming it as North, the North, like is being requested by the mayor, rather than Northeast Career Technical Academy, would preclude us from naming another future CTA in the North according to our current naming policy and protocol.
I'm not sure I completely understand the logic. If it's something, could it be called Northwest? If it's not, if it is so offensive that she called, and I don't know if she called any other members of the committee, but is there a way of accommodating the sensitivities of the mayor of North Las Vegas, who I have to think is representing her constituents? And still name this accurately and still enable us to name another academy down the road as Northwest or
Currently we have a Northwest,
have,
and so because of that, that's why we are taking that into consideration.
When we had a conversation about this, the thing is that we're going to have growth in population. So if we automatically put this as North, then we will not be able to do that in the future. And where it's located is Northeast, am I correct on that?
Yes.
And so it's similar that we don't have a South Career Technical Academy, right? We have the Southeast Career Technical Academy. So it is so that when we do have a South, we can name it that. And so it would be South. Am I correct on that?
And we're North.
Right. Right. Any other questions? Yeah, I love this.
this is I don't This is my first meeting. I'm supposed to sit back and just learn. But then I received this call last night and, would it be possible to have a conversation with the mayor to explain this? Because she was quite adamant and quite certain that north was a better expression of the location as opposed to northeast. So perhaps it would be very helpful to get her on that, to explain this to her in a way that she understands the purpose behind it, why it would be in her interest. It seems that there's going to be another technical school in North Las Vegas that she's actually going to have two instead of just the one.
Well, it wouldn't have to be a career and technical. It could just be a North High School, right? But I believe I had a conversation with Dr. Jara about this yesterday, and he assured me that he had the conversation with the mayor, and she knows why we've gone with northeast as according to our policies versus north. So thank you. Is there anything else that I'll call for? Yeah. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say thank you to the superintendent and Region 1, also to the principal, Mr. Correa. This was the excellent work you did at Southeast Career Technical School, putting us on the map, being the #1 magnet school in the U.S. And I have no question that you will put that in and repeat it for North Las Vegas and put us.
Thank you. Those were my questions. So thank you very much. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak? You, Rebecca Gibson?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, Guzman, and committee members. My name is Rebecca Gibson, Assistant City Manager with the City of North Las Vegas. For the record, we are thrilled to have this Career and Technical Academy located in North Las Vegas. This is a wonderful opportunity to expose students in the area with career and technical education opportunities. Having personally graduated from VOTEC, now known as Southeast Career and Technical Academy, I can tell you the education you get at these types of schools is amazing, and we are truly, truly excited for our students. I stand before you today asking that you consider the name that is being proposed for this CTA. We strongly feel that its geographic location within the Valley would suggest that the North Career and Technical Academy would be the most appropriate name to give the school based on the physical location, which does not align in the Northeast as proposed. Should the district consider opening another CTA in the true Northeast section of the Valley in the future, you will limit naming options. With the resounding success of graduation rates and popular curriculum choices that CTAs offer, they will surely be an option that is highly sought after in this area. Thank you for taking this comment into consideration as you make your decision on this item. And as committee member Berkeley has suggested, we would love to have a conversation on this in North Las Vegas, should that be the desire of this committee too. Thank you. Thank you.
There's no one else. Does the committee want to ask any additional questions or discussion?
If we were to consider investing a different for the school, what does that do to the project?
Yes, hi, Todd Story, Chief Communications Officer. Chair Guzman, to answer the question, the application would have to be submitted and reconsidered. The application as it is currently is for the East Career Academy according to the policy guidelines.
Which then puts us back opening one, then notice and a whole.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Story, then
what would be like the approximate delay if they have to apply for a different name? Because I know that Ms. Brianna shared that they're expecting to open, they've already broken ground, and they're expecting to be fresh in time. So we've got to put names on, sign. So what is it?
So thank you, Trustee Bustamante Adams, Chair Guzman. So the application process would have to start over with a different recommendation in order to meet the policy. And we would have to go through the entire process. The committee would then have to meet again to consider the updated application. And then I know I don't want to speak for Principal Cordia, but he has been waiting ever so patiently for months in order to get this done so that we can actually, because he's got all kinds of branding and naming that has to occur in order for those things to be installed in the school in time for the start of the school year.
Madam Chairman, may I ask this historian a question?
Absolutely.
Let's say that the city of North Las Vegas really imposes this thing. Will they have an opportunity to get enough? Let's say we pass this. The time is of the essence and we want to move it. It's a wonderful project and we all know it'll be very helpful, not only to the students that go there, but to the city and the community as a whole. Will the people that are opposed to the name Northeast have an opportunity to address the trustees at their meeting so they would be able to express their dismay? Or is this the only opportunity that we have to hear that this name is somewhat controversial?
Sure, thank you, Member Berkeley. For the record, Child Storage Chief Communications Officer for the Clark County School District. Chair Guzman and members, if the recommendation, and Patrick, please correct me if I misspeak, but if the recommendation is to move forward with Northeast, that would be the recommendation to the full school board. The school board could then make a decision based on that recommendation.
But that obviously the elected school board is the final arbiter.
Correct.
So if the school board chose to change it, they could, it wouldn't have to come back to us. They could change it at the president's meeting. Is that what I'm understanding?
That is my understanding. That's correct.
Okay, because if we name it this, my understanding is we need to change the name of this school further down the line. Right now, it's about $60,000 to change high school.
It's a lot of money.
And my understanding is that if it goes to the school board and they do not accept the name, the process starts over. It's not that we get to just say whatever we want, right?
Correct.
Okay, the process would start over. I want to make sure everybody understands that if we vote in affirmative and send it to the school board and the school board decides not to, then that their process has to start all over again. And so that is what they could take into consideration, and the trustees would take that into consideration.
Chair Guzman, if I could please add a story for the record, Chief Communications Officer for Clark County School District. The recommendation comes from staff to name the facility. A determination is made, one, in accordance with the policy first, but two, the geographic nature of the location for the facility. And it is the opinion of staff as relayed through the superintendent Triana that this is the most easterly opportunity that we have to name a school. So there are no other easterly locations that could be named for a high school because of Nellis and the proximity to this, in addition to the other development that's occurring. Therefore, Northeast Technical Academy.
Any other questions? So just
Madam Chair, I would go ahead and move forward to, because I don't want to hold up the process, and I know it's taken a very, very long time to get a CTA out in North Las Vegas, and that's what's important to me. And so I'm going to go ahead and make a recommendation to move forward with agenda item point 3 for as recommended by staff.
Could I have a second? Okay, we have a motion made by trustee Irene Bustamante Adams, a second by member Freeman. I need to take a vote.
Aye.
I interrupted you.
Also aye, so that passes 5. This is the discussion and possible action to forward a recommendation to name the vehicle maintenance building at the Matthew B. Wallace Transportation Center, the Paul's Vehicle Maintenance Building for approval to the Board of School Trustees is recommended. I would like to welcome CCSD's Transportation Executive Director Jennifer Bovis to present the application.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Trustee Bustamante Adams, and members of the School Committee. Jennifer Bovis, for the record, Executive Director of the Clark County School District Transportation Department. On behalf of the Transportation Department, I would like to present to you a dedicated employee who is also someone who helps others in need. Mr. Paul Sawicki worked for the Transportation Department from 1985. I think I was in middle school at the time. Until the time of his death on April 13, 2021. With no intent of retiring, Mr. Sawicki held this job dear to his heart. During his tenure with the district, he worked at 5 of our 6 transportation facilities, as well as the Facility Service Center. Prior to moving to Las Vegas, for 10 years, Mr. Sawicki taught auto mechanics in the evenings at Burgard High School in Buffalo, New York, where he himself attended school. Upon moving to Vegas, he became an employee of the Clark County School District. Paul worked diligently to ensure school buses operated safely for students of the CCSD, and the White Fleet vehicles were safe and comfortable for all our employees. His demeanor was always helpful. He did what he could to assist everyone. He took the time to listen to their concerns. Outside of CCSD, Mr. Sawicki was actively involved in helping youth. He was a generous donor to the children of the St. Jude. He supported St. Jude's Ranch for Children by donating gifts for holidays, assisting with book drives for the ranch, and donated monthly to their Red Heart Giving Society, which he did with his grandchildren. He volunteered with St. Vitus Catholic Church Youth Group, cutting down trees in Caliente, Nevada, for families in need. Mr. Sawicki would forego giving gifts to his own children and grandchildren in order to donate to charity. In addition to his charity work, Mr. Sawicki mentored a young man named Erasmus Raz Banya, who was identified as having autism at a young age. They lived on the same street, and when Paul was out working on his vehicles at home, Raz would come over and learn from him. Raz would memorize vehicle maintenance manuals and assist Paul with the exact things he needed from the manual. They remained friends, going to car shows, talking about buses, and spending holidays together until Raz passed away 6 months prior to Mr. Sawicki. In closing, we are graciously asking for the vehicle maintenance building at the West Beltman Matthew Wallace Transportation Yard to be renamed Paul Sawicki Vehicle Maintenance Building. We want to honor the pride he took in his work for the Vehicle Maintenance Department, along with honoring his dedication to education, charity, and the youth in our community. I'd also like to take an opportunity to introduce his daughter, who would like a few moments to speak on behalf, Ms. Ray Paravia.
My brother, sister, and I are here today to speak about our father, Paul Sawicki, who dedicated his career to the Clark County School District Transportation Department. His unwavering commitment and dedication to his work have been nothing short of exceptional, and it's an honor to share his story with the board today. Our father had been a part of the Clark County School Transportation Department for more than 3 decades, and during this time, he played an instrumental role in ensuring the safe and timely transportation of thousands of Clark County students. He worked tirelessly to make sure every student who stepped onto a Clark County school bus arrived at their destination safely and without incident. Working in transportation requires an unwavering commitment to safety, and our father embraced that commitment throughout his career. He always put the safety of students and Clark County School District employees first, ensuring that each bus or vehicle was in top condition. In the garage, he led by example, and his employees respected and admired him for it. He was a man of integrity, honesty, and humility. He never asked his employees to do something he wouldn't do himself. He worked side by side with them, and he wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty. And in fact, he loved it. He respected the bus drivers and thoroughly enjoyed working with them. He was a leader, a mentor, a friend to many employees he worked with and supervised. Our father's dedication has not gone unnoticed by his colleagues. They were instrumental in this dedication. We want to thank everyone at the Wallace Yard for their loyalty to our father and everyone in the district and the board. In closing, we want to express our gratitude and admiration for our father's incredible work ethic and dedication to the Clark County School District Transportation Department. He has left an indelible mark on the district, and we are proud to call him your father. He truly was a lucky man. He loved his job and the people he worked with. And thank you very much for letting me speak. Thank you.
Are there any questions from the members of the committee? Is there any members of the public who would like to speak on the science? I am looking for a motion regarding this request to name a vehicle maintenance building.
I move that we name the Matthew B. Wallace Transportation Center Maintenance Building after Mr. Biggerby and call it the Paul Sawicki Vehicle Maintenance Building. Thank you.
I would like to second that.
Okay, I have a motion made by member Berkeley and a second by trustee Irene Bustamante Adams. I'm calling for a vote. Aye. 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 That passes 5-0. We're going to move on to 2.05. Discussion and possible action to forward a recommendation to name the library at UC Perkins Elementary School, the Michael J. Jack Library, for approval to the Board of School Trustees. And then I have okay, so let's move on forward.
Madam Chairperson and members of the committee, my name is Hal Mortensen, I'm the proud principal of UC Perkins Elementary School. We're located about 60 miles north of Las Vegas in a small community. We have about 150 students in our small school. We're near the Moacapayu tribe. We have many of their students in the tribe. It's a great pleasure to recommend the library in honor of Mr. J. Jack. He started as a custodian from CCSD, and while working full-time, supporting his family, he received his bachelor's degree. After 30 years as a teacher and as a librarian at UC Perkins Elementary School, he retired in 2016. This is the time that I observed Mr. Jack in the classroom. He was very liked, very well loved. He loved him, and he for him. His library was very well decorated with the cleanup going on, and he was the hub of the school and the community. And my first time as a principal, he was my go-to guy. So we care of technology, we care of all the end of the year programs and festivals that we have. He was the one that took care of it all. This is a unique request. He retired after 30 years of service and is currently receiving his retirement. He is, however, still teaching as a critical labor shortage teacher. And while receiving his state retirement, he's teaching at W. McLean Middle School. The reason we come to you today is that he had 2 different types of cancer, and his prognosis is not going in his favor. We want to honor him by meeting the library on his behalf. So it's with great pleasure that I recommend the library to be named in honor of Mr. Michael J. Jack, who retired from the school district, specifically from UP Perkins Elementary School in 2016. I want to introduce you. We had one teacher, colleague of his, she is not able to come, but I do want to introduce you to the former student of his, Ariana.
Hello and good evening, Trustee Guzman, Trustee Bustamante Adams, and members of the school naming committee. I'm here today to show my strong support to have the UP Perkins Library named after former librarian, Mr. Michael Jack. My name is Ariana Rubio. I'm currently a freshman at Wappo Valley High School and a former student of UP Perkins Elementary School. From my earliest memories, I remember Mr. Jack as not only the kindest teacher, but the kindest person. Mr. Jack worked for the Clark County School District for 29 years. He worked hard as a custodian while attending school for his teaching degree, all while raising a family. He began his teaching career as a science teacher, which he taught for 5 years. He then started working as a librarian, where his true passion was. He taught at UP Perkins Elementary School as the school librarian for 19 years. Yes, he was a librarian at the school, but he taught in many ways. He helped with technology, school programs, tutoring, and many other activities. He helped everyone and everywhere. I've always seen him as an intelligent, loving, funny man. We always felt safe around him. He loved and treated everyone equally. Mr. Jack taught confidence. It didn't matter if you were at the top of the class, the best reader, or writer, he included everyone. Everyone looked forward to Library Day. He made reading fun and interesting. My love of reading books, especially nonfiction books, started in Mr. Jack's library class. Not only did Mr. Jack help me find my love for reading, but also my love for writing and speaking. Mr. Jack is an excellent storyteller. Remember listening to his stories and how we acted them out and how much we enjoyed listening to them. He encouraged all the students to participate in the Versatile Storytelling Festival. I was lucky enough to attend the festival in the 4th and 5th grades. I recited a story by memory in front of other students, teachers, and parents. I also participated in Cinderella pageants where we had to do interviews. Mr. Jack taught me how to speak confidently and proudly. With his teaching and encouragement, I have found an interest in public speaking. Mr. Jack may not be my current teacher, but he will always be my teacher. And his teachings stay with me to this day, and I stand here proudly talking to you because of him. Mr. Jack was not only our school librarian, he was a beloved teacher, colleague, and friend. It would be a great honor to have the school library named after him. It would be a great reminder to students to follow their passion for reading, to work hard for their dreams, and most importantly, be respectful and kind to all. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. No, not from the audience, please. I am a little confused, and I want to ask legal, because my understanding is that we can only name schools after those who have left or have passed away. So if I could ask legal to please clarify for us.
Thank you, Chair Guzman, Trustee Bustamante Adams, and the members of the committee, Patrick Marks, Assistant General School District. The policy that you're talking about for naming schools, Section 3 of that policy says that the school name committee will use, will not be limited to, the following guidelines when considering the facilities. Section B under subsection B under section 3 says that names of CCSD personnel will not be considered while actively employed, either full-time, part-time, or as a consultant CCSD, nor for 2 years from the last day of employment unless the individual ceases. And then section 6 has a list of procedural guidelines being followed. At the end of that section, there's subsection F, it says the Board of School Trustees is the only grantor exception to these criteria. That exception, statement about the exception, applies to procedures. It doesn't apply to policy. So the district's legal opinion is that the board can't grant an exception to the requirement that I read earlier about someone being actively employed, having to do that without a change in policy for them.
So, because I am a former teacher and this warms my heart, you have no idea. But we would have to refer this back to the Board of Trustees to change the policy. Is that what I hear you say?
Trustee Guzman, Trustee Bustamante, and members of the committee, Patrick Birch, Worker. Yes, it would require a change in the policy first, and then it would help. And a point that Mr. Mortensen raised, and I appreciate that the family's here. I appreciate that Mr. Mortensen's here. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, certainly, but point that was raised is that Mr. Jack retired and then came back. Sort of that may be an opportunity for the board to limit the modifications to the policy for that situation, as opposed to opening up about allowing school names for current employees, employees who have left in the past few years. Limited exception to a number of
So I just want to make sure I hear what you're saying. So we're not saying that we're not going to do this. What we're saying is we're referring this to the Board of Trustees because they have to change the policy in order for us to vote on that. Is that what I hear you saying?
My interpretation of the policy, that was a couple of attorneys and the council about this. I talked to the full knowledge of the board. So the policy has to change first, and that the committee cannot make a recommendation on this name.
Okay. Do I have any questions from the committee? Oh my gosh, Shelley, please don't cry.
I think you would all agree that if ever there was a reason for an exception, this would be the ideal reason. Would it be possible I understand the policy and that we can't as a committee override the policy, it would have to be the Board of Trustees, but could we make a recommendation to the Board of Trustees that they create a narrow exception so that they know that we are very supportive of this naming if the Board of Trustees found it in their infinite wisdom to agree or to make the change? I mean, rather than just let this go and say, thank you very much for coming here and driving 60 miles and everything else, and we'll see you next time. If we could at least give them some hope that there's a future to this.
Member Berkeley, the recommendation would have to be to change the policy. That can happen in a number of ways. But my point is just that they for this without a change in policy. So anybody can make a recommendation for change in policy.
So I, do you mind if I ask Okay, so this committee could make a recommendation for the Board of Trustees to look at the policy in order to see if they can modify it so that we put it forward. Is that right?
I don't know that the committee can do it in connection with this meeting because that was not noticed,
Right.
but you can make a recommendation.
Okay,
For changing the policy outside.
okay.
The committee does not need to be involved. Vote on it.
Okay, any other questions? Please ask away.
I would just like to say for the record, I agree with Sue with this sounds so deserving. We appreciate your drive to tell us about it. I want to go into this.
Me too. Me too.
So please give him our best. I don't. If I'm done right now. Please don't feel like you just. I'm honored for his story.
May I ask a procedural question? The question would be the following. When somebody puts something on the agenda, and is there a way to find out in advance if it does not meet our policy requirements so that we could advise them before they come and make a presentation? This is just for future. And again, maybe this had to happen and we loved hearing the presentation. But is there a way if something is submitted to the school naming committee that we can review it and let them know in advance that we would have to make a change of policy through the Board of Trustees before we could approve this? And this way it might save them some time, although I agree with Ms. Freeman. I think this was a wonderful presentation and I so enjoyed learning about him. But I'm wondering if there is another way that we can handle this in the future.
Mr. Story?
Sure, I'll speak to that. Todd Story, Chief Communications Officer for the Clark County School District. Yes, that happened. So.
Also, this was put on
this is,
just so we could
get
the ball
correct.
rolling. Thank you.
Anything else?
No, in 2016, we did move the paperwork forward, and then we realized at the time that we, shortly after that, it was critical with the teacher. So then we waited into the district meeting. However, in the last 2 years, we took that. But as we decided, let's do this forward while we can appreciate this moment. That was the purpose of why we moved up. We did consult several individuals that said go ahead and make that complete to you. We have the school board even did.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We need to move forward with 2.06, which is the agenda planning and future meetings. At this time, we do not have any pending applications, so no meeting dates are scheduled for the immediate future. CCSD staff will reach out to members to check availability in order to schedule a meeting when needed. Do you have any comments that you would like to say? Okay. For members of the public, since this is not an action item, if you would like to comment on this item, you may do so during the public comment period, which we will hear next. So it's time for public comment. Do we have any members of the public who wish to speak on matters within the jurisdiction of the committee but not listed as an action item on the agenda? Speakers will be given 3 minutes to address the committee during this time. Please come to the microphone and state your name for the record. Now we come to my favorite part of the meeting, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn today's meeting? So moved. Thank you. Can I have a vote, please?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, that's 5-0. Today's meeting is adjourned at 6:24. Thank you all for coming.